Meet Zoomlock, the 10-second flame-free refrigerant fitting from Parker. Reduce labor costs by 60% with no brazing, no flame, and no fire spotter. Discover how Zoomlock can help you be more efficient and productive. Visit Zoomlock.com for more information.
Hello guys, I'm sitting here with a Southwire meter bag and I'm going to open it up and take a look at this meter. Southwire sent me this meter a few weeks ago. I've been using it in the field ever since and I wanted to give you guys a look at it. It's pretty similar to the previous meter we took a look at. So let's go ahead and take it out of the bag and we'll see what's what. We have our meter and leads here. Our instruction manual, who needs that, right? None of us. We're super techs. Now we have this. This is for measuring temperature. It's a K-type fitting. Plugs into the meter itself, and I'll go ahead and show you that since we have it sitting like this. Of course, your meter has two connections, black and red down here, and you can match those up and put it right in here. And what I'll do is I'll take this off because you can see there's a K-type fitting here. Two little metal prongs. One of them slightly larger than the other. The slightly larger one goes in the positive side. Well, excuse me, the negative side. And you can use this or you can use a pipe clamp, so it's kind of versatile. Some of the meters, like my other meter, which I'll show you here, Cd14 Pro, the one that comes with it, is similar except it's fixed together. You don't have a separate thermocouple and jack here. It's all molded into one piece, so you can't really take it out and use a pipe clamp because it doesn't have that ability to separate them. So I kind of like this. You can put a little pipe clamp in there and measure your line temperatures, do your superheat and subcooling, so that's kind of nice. The leads themselves are pretty nice leads compared to other styles. Nice, thick, molded plastic. It has little caps on them. I took those off because I was testing something. But little caps that slip over to cover most of the lead except for the very tip. Same type connections on the end. Nice, thick, durable looking plastic. So that's really good. I won't connect those for this video so we can get a little bit better look at the meter. So let's take a look at the meter right here. We have our dial, and I'm just going to go through the dial. We'll go to each particular setting one by one and kind of highlight what the meter does and talk about what it doesn't do. First, we turn it on. It comes on. Has a backlight on it. The hold button turns the backlight off. We're going to leave it off for right now because you see it on the video a little bit better with it off. The first selection is volts. This button right here has hertz and a percentage mark, which is duty cycle. We'll hit that and it transfers between those different settings. We'll go on to volts DC, the next connection. One more time, we have ohms, continuity, and all continuity is when you touch your probes together, once they're connected, it'll make a beeping noise when you touch them. Lets you know you have a complete circuit. And then you do it again and it has a diode test as well. And you'll just hit the mode button to scroll through these. If we go up one more, we have capacitance. That's the only particular setting on this part of the dial for testing your what I use it for and what other HVAC guys use it for is for checking run capacitors and start capacitors for HVAC units. Again, we have hertz and duty cycle again. We have Fahrenheit and Celsius. Now when we're on this setting, we'll plug in our clip here, put our thermocouple in or our pipe clamp and measure temperature. This particular meter has a high amp capacity. It has a 600 amp setting and a 1000 amp setting. So this will be more geared for someone who works on some either larger equipment or does electrical work. For my HVAC lifestyle, I stick to residential. Most of my stuff's below 100 amps. So I never, I typically don't need readings this high. So this might be better suited for a guy who does commercial or industrial work or an electrician. Because these meters are sort of geared toward electricians that have some qualities that HVAC man would like as well. You can choose either one of those settings. And if we scroll through the bottom, you have your mode, max and min, That's give you your maximum and minimum readings. Our relative button, and we have a button for a light on the side. If you can see it, let's see here. We open up the jaws. You can see the light there. And instead of coming on every time the jaws open, it only comes on when you hit the button, so you're not wasting energy when you don't actually need the illumination. Things of note about this particular meter: Southwire in general builds a very rugged meter. It's heavy. It's heavier than, say, the amp probe is, which was my daily meter before this one arrived. Heavier, heavy duty, probably one of the most heavy duty meters that I've used. As far as construction, I feel like it will hold together very well. I've only used this particular meter a couple weeks. I used of one very similar to this one. This one is the 23070T. Previously, I used a 23030T. They're very similar to this one. Almost the exact same. Very rugged. Will take a beating. Had no issues with it at all. Again, the usage time on this one's only been about 2 weeks. The previous meter, I probably used it for a few months. So pretty good gauge of how it's going to do on an everyday basis. I run HVAC service calls and did some installations, but mostly it's just service calls, and it was well suited for me. Two drawbacks. We don't have microamps. Actually, I'll say there's 3 drawbacks. It doesn't have microamp settings for testing flame sensors. So if you absolutely have to have that setting, you have to upgrade to a different meter. A lot of guys don't require that setting or don't use that setting. You can, if flame sensor's dirty, you might choose just clean the flame sensor and see if the machine works if you have a lighting and going off immediately sort of scenario with the gas furnace. That's completely up to the technician on a case-by-case basis. I don't technically need it because I rarely have to test flame sensors because I'm down in the southeast where it's heat pump territory with very few gas appliances. Secondly, some meters have a dual line display that people like. This one does not. So if you really like that dual line display that gives you the amps and the volts simultaneously, or amps and another reading simultaneously, this meter does not do that. Again, this is a preference. You don't have to have that, but some techs like it. The head on this particular device doesn't swivel. It does not swivel back and forth. It's fixed, but again, very rugged. A point of swivel is likely also a point of failure. Anywhere you're adding, more components, a connection, you have a potential for failure. So you can look at it in one of 2 ways. You can say, well, this one doesn't swivel, but also it doesn't have that potential for failure after some rugged use. Finally, the meter is made in China. So some people have a problem with Chinese instrumentation. I see a lot online, guys saying we should buy American. There isn't a whole lot of pure American products out there, but this one is not that. If you are looking for that, this one is made in China. Just to compare, I love the amp probe as well because I have this box sitting right here, so we'll run some comparison. This is made in Taiwan, so I don't know if that's equivalent, less, or greater than China. This particular meter, while being made in China, is made very well, in my opinion. Like I said, I've used a couple different ones. It is true RMS, as you can see up here. And it says category 4, 600 volts, and a maximum of 1,000 amps. And you can see the amps can measure either alternating current or direct current, which is kind of nice. Not all of them do that. So this is just a look at the Southwire 23070T. You can see it in my HVAC videos on Working Joe's Roundtable, and also on the Cowboys of HVAC channel. We'll talk more about this meter, and eventually we're going to give this thing away, bring it to a lucky new home. Like I do with a lot of the meters I test, I like to pass them on to somebody else, create some buzz, have some fun on the channels, and I'm sure we'll do that on the Cowboys of HVAC channel. So if you're not a member of the Cowboys of HVAC podcast group on Facebook, or a subscriber of the channel on YouTube, go ahead and do so you can be eligible for these drawings and winnings, and just enjoy the videos in general. We have our podcast over there, and we're really enjoying me and John Israel making those podcasts. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, you can put them in the comments.
Those of us with dirty hands, blood stains intertwined, right away each morning, to grind it out another time. The faces in the mirror, and not as young as they once were, but they're proud.